In the past, I reviewed some of the worst the NES has to offer, but today I'm doing something a bit different. As we go down a trip through memory lane to explore one of the greatest video games of all time, Super Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario Bros. 3 was released for the NES in 1990 and quickly became one of the most iconic games in history. It is the third installment in the Super Mario Bros. Series and is widely regarded as one of the greatest games of all time. So, what makes it so special? You play as Mario, or both, Mario and Luigi, if you play two players. I'll get to that in a moment. As you travel through 8 different worlds filled with unique levels that have even more challenges. Super Mario Bros. 3 is by far one of my favorite of the 3 Mario games that came out for the NES. I love the game for many reasons. One is the challenging levels and the map layout as well. Unlike the first 2 Mario games, this one allows you to skip levels if you open up a path to them along the way. You can enter into certain areas that have mini games that can help you earn power-ups. The power-ups to me also make this game a standout as well. In the first 2 you had the basic ones, the mushroom and the power star and the flame flower. But in Super Mario Bros. 3, you're introduced to a whole slew of new and amazing power-ups such as the Tanuki suit to the frog suit. The game also gives you some of the best level design I have seen in any early Mario game. Each map has a unique theme, which then dictates the theme in the levels as well. For example, if you're in a lava map, you bet that each level will have something to do with lava. One of the unique features this game has, than the previous ones didn't, is the ability for you to go backwards. In the first 2 games you can only go forward, so if you have a power-up that falls behind you, and off the screen, you are SOL. But not in Super Mario Bros. 3. You can actually chase after it and try to get it. The controls are easy, which makes this game really fun to play. The D-pad moves Mario back and forth and up and down when on ladders. Holding the B button while using the D-pad makes Mario run, and the A button makes him jump. Pushing down on the D-pad makes Mario squat, and here is a little secret in the game. If you squat on a white background block, you will then go behind the scenery. However, this doesn't let you avoid enemies, so even though it is a neat little trick, it really has no use to help you out. Just like the previous 2, you can jump on Goombas to squash them into their shells. But in Super Mario Bros. 3, after you do that, you can press the B button to pick up the shell and use it to help you get past things or break hard to get blocks. In each of the 3 games, they have added new enemies and bosses, but Super Mario Bros. 3, the enemies are very unique. Not only do you have smaller enemies with their own abilities, but you have a whole new set of bosses and mini-bosses. Once you get to the end of each map, you will then face the Koopa Kids, each with their own airship you have to traverse. Now, one of the features in each game is the ability to warp to other levels, allowing you to skip a few levels to get closer to the end game. So in the first there was warp pipes, in the second there was warp faces that you must enter after going into subspace. However, in Super Mario Bros. 3, you have to find warp whistles which send you to a map with a series of pipes that you can go into that warp you to further worlds. So like I said in the beginning, one of the features Super Mario Bros. 3 has that sets it apart from the previous 2 is the mini-games. Now, there are 2 main mini-games you can play to get power-ups. Now, the first mini-game is a tile matchup game. These are found in the mushroom houses on the map. This game, all you have to do is try to match up the 3 tiles in a row to equal one of the power-ups, and you should get a 1-up from that. The second mini-game is more of like a matching card game. You match each of the cards to get that power-up. The more you match, the more power-ups you get. Now, the other 2 games had 2-player options. However, unlike Super Mario Bros. 1 and 2, Super Mario Bros. 3's multiplayer is way different. It's co-op. So if player 1 gets past 3 levels in the world, and player 2 hasn't yet, player 2 can skip those to catch up to player 1. However, if both player 1 and 2 meet at the same level, instead of playing the level together, you get to enjoy an updated version of the very first Mario Bros. Game. Yes, the previous 2 games had some replayability, but Super Mario Bros. 3 has the best replayability I have ever seen. This game has secrets upon secrets to find and all the power-ups, and beat all the minigames. Now let's look at the legacy Super Mario Bros. 3 has created. Some of the features in Super Mario Bros. 3 has carried over to other Super Mario Bros. Games that came after it, such as the map screen, which if you look at Super Mario World for the SNES, you can see a similar map. The Leaf power-up has returned in Mario games that came out for the Nintendo 3DS, and the red hair that Bowser has in the third game has now become a staple look for him. And a collab with NBC and Nintendo got us the cartoon show on Saturday mornings, The Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3, which aired from September to December in the 90s. I do have a bit of history with this game. When Super Mario Bros. 3 was first released in stores back in the 90s, people swarmed the stores sort of like when the Cabbage Patch Kids first came out. So to surprise me, my parents went out and got it for me, and got caught up in the insanity that was going on, and was able to get it for me, and they told me this wild story that they had to step on a little old lady trying to get the game for her grandkid. Back then, as a kid, I believed it, but looking back now, I think it was just a way to make a trip to the store to sound like a grand adventure, kind of like the old tale your parents kept on telling you that they had to walk 100 miles in the snow both ways to get to school. So, Super Mario Bros. 3 is a timeless classic that deserves its place in gaming history, with its incredible gameplay, charming graphics, and memorable music. It's a must-play for any gamer. If you haven't played it yet, you're missing out. That's all for today, folks. Let me know what your favorite Super Mario Bros. 3 moment is in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more awesome content. I'm Professor Retro, reminding you to keep your consoles turned on, your controllers plugged in, and to keep laughing and keep gaming.